Welcome back, students, in second part of today's lecture. In first lecture I was going to tell you how to solve this equation to get this one. Okay, so let's see that. So here you can see I have written that equation. Okay, so to solve this we cross multiply them. R plus a cos theta to 1, r minus a cos theta to 1 this side, and then we multiply denominators to each other. Okay, denominators with each other. So here we get r plus a cos theta minus this one is in bracket we will write. Okay, r minus a cos theta. So when we open the bracket, some changes will be there, and at downside we have multiplied them. So here, because in front of bracket minus sign is there, so inside the bracket the signs will change. This is plus r, it becomes minus r, and minus a cos theta will become plus a cos theta. Here at the downside you can see r minus a cos theta, r plus a cos theta. So the formula of a minus b, a plus b will work here, which is equals to a square minus b square. So we have written here r square minus a square cos square theta. Okay. After that, this is plus r, this is minus r. So they both will cancel, and we have a cos theta plus a cos theta. So it become 2a cos theta. Okay. Then when we open the bracket, we can write it like this. Then q into 2a. Q into 2a is one charge into separation between two charges, that is length of the dipole. It is equals to dipole moment. Okay, about dipole moment we have studied in detail in chapter 1. So q into 2a is equals to dipole moment. So in place of this we put p. So here we got p cos theta upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square minus a square cos square theta. So now I hope you have understood that how we got this formula. Now in case of a dipole whose distance, whose separation is very small, that is in case of ideal dipole. In ideal dipole the separation between two charges is very small. So suppose r is very larger than a. So that time a can be neglected. So this whole term a square cos square theta becomes 0. Because when we neglect a, it is equals to 0. So 0 into cos square theta will become 0. So here what we will get? Only r square. So for ideal dipole, this is the potential at a point due to electric dipole. V equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into p cos theta upon r square. Now let's discuss special cases. So first one, you see, if p is a far off point lying on the axial line of the dipole, then theta equals to 0. How it will happen? See, in this figure, theta is this angle. Okay, here this is the line OP, here this is line OB. If suppose this P, this point P is so far that this line will be very large. So that time what happen? Theta will be approximately equals to, sorry. If point P is lying on the axial line, that means in this line only. About axial line and equatorial line also we have discussed in detail. So when point P lies on axial line, that means on this line only. So that time the value of theta will be equals to 0. Okay. So at that time when we put theta equals to 0, then also we get the same equation. Here when we put theta equals to 0, okay, so here what happened? This term, okay, cos theta equals to 1. But here r is very large than a. Okay, r is very greater than a. So r also should be neglected. So that time what happened? We again get v equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into p upon r square. In case when r is not so large. So that time what happened? When we put theta equals to 0, so only this value will become 1. and denominator will be r square minus a square. In case of normal dipole, we get r square minus a square, but in case of ideal dipole, we get only r square because a will be neglected. Okay. Now, here you can see it is written there. Okay. R square minus a square if r is not very large. But if r is very large, a will be totally neglected. Now, if P is at a point on equatorial line, if P is on equatorial line, then the value of theta will be 90 degree. So when we put theta equals to 90 here, so cos 90 will become 0. Here also on the top cos 90 will become 0. So this whole term will become 0. When we multiply this with 0, so the whole potential will become 0. Okay. So in equatorial line, theta is 90 degree. The value of cos theta is 0. Cos 90 is 0. So that's why on equatorial line, the potential will be 0. Now you can feel that the potential is totally different from the electric field. When we were studying the electric field due to dipole, then in axial position as well as in equatorial position, we were getting some amount of electric field. Okay, in axial position, its value was high in comparison with the equatorial one, but we were getting some amount of field at equatorial also. But here in potential, we are not getting any potential in equatorial line. Okay, on equatorial line, the value of potential is 0. Now let's discuss quickly the relationship between electrostatic field and potential difference. Okay, so when we talk about the force, here you can see one dipole is there at point O plus Q charge is there. Sorry, it is not dipole, sorry. We are now finding the relationship between electrostatic field and potential difference. So here we have taken one source charge plus Q which is situated at point O at a distance x from it. Okay, one point N is there. From N, a little distance is there dx where we have put our test charge Q naught. Okay, why we have done so? Because in moving this charge from M to N, we will find out how much potential is there. Okay, now electric force acting on test charge Q naught at M. Okay, for electric force, what is the formula? F equals to Q naught into E, and it is a repulsive force and points along plus x direction. It is repulsive force. So this plus Q will try to move the Q naught away from itself. So it will try to move it right hand side direction, that means plus Q direction, plus X direction. Now work done in moving Q naught from M to N. So what will be the work done? dW equals to F into dx, and this F will be with negative sign because it is repulsive force. So we get minus Q naught E into dx, or from this equation we can also get dW upon Q naught equals to minus E into dx. Okay, but we know that dW upon Q naught equals to dV, where dV is the potential difference between M and N. Okay, so this equation becomes dV equals to minus dx, or we can write E equals to minus dV upon dx, where dV upon dx is called the potential gradient. Okay, so the electric field is equals to change in potential with distance. Okay, it is x is the distance, so with distance how much change is there in potential, that is electric field, electrostatic field, and the negative sign here shows that the potential decreases in the direction of electric field. Okay, that is electric field points in the direction of decreasing potential. Now let's see how significant this equation is. What is the importance of this relation E equals to minus dV upon dx? So the value of V is this one. Okay, if any source charge Q is there, so at a distance x from this, This is the value of potential. Okay, so now we try to find out the electric field at that point by using this formula. So electric field E equals to minus dV upon dx. When we put the value of V here, this one, okay, so Q, 4 pi epsilon naught, they are constant, so they will come out, and we will differentiate d upon dx. We will differentiate x, 1 upon x is there, so we will write it as x to the power minus 1. By differentiating it, we get x to the power minus 2, which can be written as 1 upon x square. Okay, and we will actually get minus x to the power minus 2. So that minus and this minus sign will cancel, and we get E equals to this one. Okay, so you can see here that by using the formula of potential and this relation, we can find out the value of E. So this is the significance or the importance of this relation, that if we know the value of V, by this relation we can find out the value of E as well. So this is it for today's lecture. We will meet in next lecture. Till then, goodbye, take care and do some productive work.